Okay, so Chapter 3, Costing Starchy Foods. This morning I'm going to try to share uh, Blackboard with y'all so I can type some stuff out, and hopefully this will be a little bit better than me typing out in the chat box like I was doing last week. So if you guys want to, or y'all want to pull up your assignment for chapter 3, we'll just walk through each one of these questions, and hopefully I can give you some clarification on what we're doing when we're costing out these starchy foods. So I'm going to pull the Blackboard up. So take note that when you're costing out any starchy foods such as rice or beans, um, or any dried pastas, um, they are a little bit different when it comes to costing. The main reason being is that all of these items are going to have a yield percentage um, that is greater than 100%. So, how do you have something that yields more than 100%? Well, when dried foods are cooked, they're going to absorb the liquid in which you cook them in. Therefore, they're going to yield a greater cooked weight and volume than they are raw. So, this is assuming, that the liquid that we're not using to cook them in is costly in itself, which we would have to account for that cost. That's something that we're going to discuss further down the road. But um, any starchy item typically that you cook in a liquid is going to increase by weight and volume. So therefore, um, the cost of that item is going to go down. So these items are relatively um, inexpensive um, to produce because they yield a greater weight than they do raw. Okay, so um, when we're measuring by volume, the larger the container is, the more compaction there will be. So um, to more accurately calculate these costs, we're going to add 3.5% when increasing a pint to a half gallon and 7% when increasing a pint to 1 gallon. To calculate the cost of raw AP, we're going to divide the AP unit by the number of pounds it contains. So let's jump into this assignment, and we will discuss where um, we use these formulas when we're talking about these items. So questions 1 through 4 on this assignment are true false questions. So um, question number 1: foods like rice, pasta, cereal, grains, and dried beans all fall into the category of starchy foods. Obviously, they do. Can you see? Uh, Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, can you see that whiteboard now? There it is. Okay. All right, I'm going to type some stuff out here when we get to these math questions. So, like I said, 1 through 4 is true false. You can find the answers to these within the chapter written in the text. So, um, I'm not going to focus too much on those 4, but I want to start right here with number 5. And it says if 1 pound of cooked pasta costs 64 cents, okay, 1 pound costs 64 cents. What will a 5-ounce portion cost? Okay, so the easiest way to do this first one, number 5. First, we need to, Corey, can you not see the whiteboard that I'm typing on?
Well, I just see a white screen. I don't see any movement or typing or anything on it.
Oh, there it
There
is.
you go. There it go.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
When I'm typing, you can't see it until I hit enter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
1 pound costs 64 cents. So to determine what a 5-ounce portion costs, we just need to get the cost per ounce. So if 1 pound is 64 cents, we're just going to take that 64 cents and we're going to divide it by 16, which is the number of ounces in a pound.
Yep, got that.
Okay? And that is going to give us um, the cost of 4 cents per ounce. Okay? So then now that we've got the cost per ounce,
Hmm.
we're just going to take 4 cents and we're going to multiply it by 5 ounces.
Yep, got that.
Okay? Then that will give us
0.
a cost of 20 cents.
Got it.
Correct? So 20 cents is the cost for a 5-ounce portion of cooked pasta. No issues there, right? Simple division multiplication. So again, for that one, we're just determining the cost per ounce for a pound of cooked pasta and then multiplying that cost by the number of ounces that they're asking for, a 5-ounce portion. Everybody good with that one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the next one. How many pounds of Cheerios will you need to serve 50 portions of 1 cup each? Okay, so we need to use our chart when we're doing this next one. Okay, so we're going to flip to page 58 in our book. And if you go down to Cheerios, that
Mhm.
first column, it says raw number of ounces per cup is 0.80. Okay, so if we needed to serve 50 portions of 1 cup each,
Oh,
we're going to multiply 50 by 0.80 because that's how many cups of raw or how many ounces of raw Cheerios are in 1 cup. Okay, so 50 times 0.80, that will give us 40.
oh, it's 4.0.
50 times 0.8. Yep,
I got
that will give
40.
us, yeah, 50 times 0.8 will give us 40, which
Mm-hmm.
is, that
4.
value that value is the number of ounces of raw Cheerios in 50 cups. Okay? So now we need to take that 40 and divide it by 16.
That's 16.
16 is the number of ounces per pound because we want to give it's asking for our answer in pounds. So we know that the total weight of 50 portions of Cheerios is 40 ounces. So that's what that 40 is. So 40 ounces
2.5.
divided by 16, which is the number of ounces in a pound, that's going to give us 2.5 pounds.
Yeah, got it.
Everybody got that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so again, we're on number 6, we're just trying to determine the cost per ounce before we move forward to get the cost per pound.
Got it.
But you need to know those basic values in this one, that 16 ounces are in a pound.
Mhm.
Okay, everybody good there? We're going to keep moving right along. Sorry, I'm having to reset this whiteboard every question. But at least it gives everybody a visual. Okay, number 8. I don't know, we got to do number 7. How many pounds of raw dried baby lentils will you need to produce 6 quarts of cooked baby lentils?
That's where I got messed up.
Okay, so
Mhm.
let's flip to the page where lentils are. That will be
57.
57. Lentils are going to be about halfway down, baby lentils. Okay, excuse me. This one is going to require a little bit of conversion before we get started. So we are trying to figure out how many pounds we need to produce 6 quarts. So let's just do this real quick. 1 quart is going to be equal to 4 cups.
Yeah, got that.
Okay. So 4 times 6. Let's do that.
24.
4 times 6 equal to 24 cups. So that, I'll put a little typo there. So 24 cups is the amount that we need of raw lentils. Okay? So now we're going to look at our chart. And if you go over to it'll be the 1, 2, 3. It'll be the 5th column. It says 1 pound of raw lentils will yield this number of cups cooked. Okay? So we're going to take the raw amount that we need, which is 24 cups. So I'm going to write this out. The raw amount is 24 cups. We're going to divide that raw amount by the number of cooked cups for baby lentils, which is 6.97. Okay, and that will give us the number of pounds.
But is the baby lentils or the lentils?
It's the baby lentils.
Okay, and
Yeah.
baby.
So right here we're dividing raw 24 cups by the number of pounds this will yield for cooked cups, which is 6.97.
Okay.
Okay, so we're dividing raw by cooked. And then that's going to give us a value of 3.44. And that will be how many pounds we need raw to yield 6 quarts.
So I did get that portion right.
Okay, so this right here, if I'm going back to this is the 6 quarts. So again, we have to do a little bit of conversion before we start with this because it's asking for, on our chart, it's asking for cups, the value in cups, not quarts. So we got to figure out how many cups are in a quart to do the math here. But does everybody see how this is the formula that you're using to determine dry as purchased weight, basically? You're taking the raw number of cups, dividing it by the yield of cooked cups. And that's what gives you the AP raw weight. Did everybody follow that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, number 8. Number 8 is just going to be a matter of looking up at your chart. Number 8 is on page 11, or sorry, page 61. I don't know why I said 11. If you go to page 61, number 11, that gives you, that's just some notes on wonton wrappers, and your answer to that one's right there. Number 9, which variety of rice has the largest raw to cook weight percentage increase? Again, you'll just need to refer to your chart on page 57 for that one. Okay, back to the math. Number 10. Sorry, that last one, number 9, is on your chart on page 59, not 57. Number 10, this one is saying you need to serve 32 pounds of cooked lentils. So how many pounds do you start with? Okay, we're going to use the chart on page 57 for this one. This is just lentils, not baby lentils. So, go over to the 6th column. 1 pound raw yields this number of pounds cooked.
Yeah.
So 3.1. So if 1 pound is 3.1, then we need to divide 32 by 3.1 to determine how many pounds to start with. So again, let's type this out. That's a raw weight of 32 pounds. And we're going to divide by 3.1, which is 1 pound raw will yield that amount cooked. So that will give us 10.32. So 10.32 is the number of pounds raw that you need to start with. So everybody I hope everybody's understanding, to determine the amount of raw you need to start with, you got to divide that raw weight, which is 32, by the cooked weight that 1 pound yields, which is 3.1. And that gives you that 10.32. This formula is within your chapter right here. Raw weight divided by cooked weight is equal to the AP raw weight. Okay.
So we need 10.32 pounds to start the 32 pounds of cooked lentils.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You need 32 pounds raw to yield, or sorry, you need 10.32 pounds raw to yield 32 pounds of
32.
cooked.
Okay.
And that
Got
just
it.
that's just accounting for that increase percentage. That's how much
Mhm.
volume they're going to increase by. And it gives you that percentage in your book too. It says lentils in that very last column. It says lentils increase by 309% when you cook them. So
Mhm.
that's probably one of the highest items next to fava beans and Purano beans, which I've never even heard of Purano beans, but they all these items are going to increase by volume when you cook them. I mean, you've seen it. If you've cooked rice at
Mhm.
home, you end up with more than you started with. Okay, next one. That's the same formula. 8 pounds of cooked white beans. How many pounds do you start with? You need 8 pounds cooked. So number 11, again, use the chart on page 57. Go down to white beans, which are the very last item on the page,
Mhm.
and then go over and see um, what 1 pound raw yields cooked. That's 2.4. So
Yep.
all you're doing here again is the same formula. Divide what you want cooked by the raw weight, which is 2.4 pounds, and then that's going to give you it's going to give you the answer. I'm not going to give you every answer on here, so y'all are going to have to do some of them on your own. Okay, let's go down to number 12, which requires basically just one more step. It's the same formula. You'll notice the same formula is used in several of these questions. Just the further you go through the assignment, they may require an extra step. So number 12 is one of those ones that requires an extra step. Okay, so it says you need 56 half cup 4-ounce by volume of cooked pinto beans. Okay, so first thing we want to do on this one is multiply 56 by 4
Yep. Got that.
because we need 56 4-ounce portions basically. That's what we're going to say. So that will give us a value of 224 ounces. So that's how many ounces of cooked pinto beans. Um,
So 57.
yeah, that's how many ounces of cooked pinto beans we want to yield. Okay, so to determine how many pounds that is, just divide 224. Divide that by 16. That gives you that value in pounds, which is
14.
28.
Uh-oh.
28
Yeah, I do.
pounds.
I did that one wrong.
Did everybody get that?
I got 14.
I did too.
I got 14 as well.
226. I'm sorry.
224.
4 divided by 16. It is 14.
Okay, good. All right.
Sorry, I had my math wrong there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay, so 224 ounces is equal to 14 pounds cooked. Okay, now that we know the number of pounds cooked, we go to our chart for cooked pinto beans. That value is
2.4.
7.5. So 1 pound of raw pinto beans yields 7.5 cooked. Cups cooked. Okay. Okay, so do 14.
Mhm.
14 divided by 7.5.
Oh.
So that is 14 divided by 7.5 equals 1.86.
Got it. 8, 6.
So that's how many pounds we need to start with.
Are we rounding?
No, you
So it
don't
would be
have to
like,
round. Oh,
okay,
yeah, well, actually, it would be 1.87 if we're
Okay.
rounding.
got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody good there?
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is 1 pound per year. Okay.
Okay. The next one, number 13. You need 12 cups of cooked black beans. How many pounds do you start with? That's that same formula.
Okay. Same as number 12.
So 12 divided by, we're going down to black beans. I don't know what that turtle is, but
Me.
okay, so we're dividing 12 by 7.4
Um,
for that one. Same formula. All right, then number 14 says convert your answer from the previous question, which you should have gotten. I'll just go ahead and tell you, you should have gotten 1.62. Convert
Yes.
your answer from the previous question to cups. So all you're doing there to convert it to cups is multiplying 1.62 by 16 ounces. That gives you your total number of ounces. And then you need to divide that total number of ounces by the number of ounces per cup on your chart, which would be 6.4. Here, I'll write this out. Okay, so for number 14, which is the one we're on, it says take that previous value from the last question, which was 1.62. You need to multiply that by 16 to convert it to ounces. So that gives us 25.92 ounces. And then we're taking that number of ounces, 25.92, and we're dividing it by 6.49. Where does 6.49 come from? That's on your chart on page 57, the first column next to black bean. Raw number of ounces per cup. So that will give us 3.99 cups. Everybody get that?
Yes.
Yeah. Do we round it?
I mean, if
We
you
don't
were
need to use that one.
if you were using this in a restaurant,
Yeah.
obviously you would just round up to 4 cups. You wouldn't you wouldn't weigh out 3.99 cups. So you know, but that's how you convert. That's how you convert the ounces to cups for the black beans. Okay.
So we should leave it as 3.99 for the system to pick up the right ounces.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But again, I'm going through all these to check your math. So, you know, if you put 4, I'm going to give you credit for it.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Okay, number 15. And the rain keeps coming down harder.
It's starting here too.
Yep.
Okay, number 15. Use the yield percentage method to calculate the raw weight needed for 12 pounds of cooked black-eyed peas. Okay, so look at your chart for black-eyed peas. And look at that raw to cooked weight increase percentage.
Yep. 266%.
Okay. 266. So if we convert that to a decimal by moving the place value over 2 places
2.6
to the left, it's 2.66. Now I want you to look at the correlation between that and the next column to the left. It's about the same value. And if you look at every single one of these, if you convert that percentage to a decimal by moving that place value over, all of those are about equal to each other. Very close, if not dead equal. Okay? So 1 pound raw will yield that amount of pounds cooked. So your increase from raw to cooked, if you're looking at the correlation of weight cooked weight increase percentage, it's about the same for both of those columns. So you can use either value really for this problem. So you can either do 12 divided by 2.7, or you can do 12. You can use the yield percentage formula and do it by divided by 2.66. If you do it by 2.7, if you do 12 divided by 2.7, that gives you 4.44. Let's see. 12 divided by 2.7. Yeah, 4.444 repeating. So it if you round it, it's still 4.44. If you did 12 divided by 2.66, which is the raw to cook weight increase percentage, it gives you 4.5. So I would for that one, I'll accept either 4.44 or 4.5, whichever value you use, because I know the book tells you to use that 1 pound raw yields this number of pounds cooked. It tells you to use that second to last value, but really the question tells you to use the yield percentage, which would be 2.66. So like I said, I'll accept either one 4.44 or 4.5 for that one. Okay. Then it says the next one says do the same thing. You're just converting that to calculate the raw weight needed. So either divide by, for number 15, you're either going to divide by, you got to go down to fava beans. You're either going to divide by 3.33 or 3.29. Okay? Okay. Okay, so number 16. If we did, let's do this one together. Let's back up a second. Okay, so if we do number 16, 16 pounds, and we divide by that 3.3. We're on fava beans, okay. We divide by that 3.3. It should give us 4.84. Which is the answer to your previous question if you didn't get that. Okay, so now we're trying to determine how many cups of dried fava beans are equal to the answer in the previous question. Okay, so we're just taking that 4.84 that we just got, and we're going to multiply by 3, which is the second column. Raw, the number of cups per pound.
Got it.
So
14.52.
So the raw weight, which was 4.84, and we're going to multiply it by 3, which is the number of cups per pound. And that should give you 14.52. That would be the number of cups you would need of dried fava beans. Okay, everybody see how I got that? You're going to have to use the chart for that one so you know the number of cups per pound. Okay? Now we are on number 18. That one is just as simple as looking at your chart on page 58. Puffed rice. Sorry, it's on page 59. Puffed rice is a little almost halfway down. Okay, so if you're serving 96 cups, you're just going to use that second value, raw number of cups per pound. Again, it's that same formula we were using earlier. So 96 divided by 32. That gives you the number of pounds you need.
3.
That's right. Does everybody see why we're using that 32?
Yes.
Okay. Because we're trying, if there's 32 cups per pound, we're just dividing 96 by 32 to determine the number of pounds. Okay. Number 19. You're going to have to do some conversion on that one. Okay, let's do this one.
Gallons to pound.
If a recipe calls for 2 gallons of Rotini spirals, okay, this is on page 60. Rotini spirals are going to be on the right side column, almost halfway down. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it gives you ounces per quart. It doesn't give you gallons on this chart. So we needed to just take this ounces per quart.
10.95.
Ounces per quart is 11.6.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to multiply 11.6 by 8. Why 8? Because there's 8 quarts in 2 gallons.
Yes, got it.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that will give us a value of 92.8. Okay? So all we've done so far is looked at the ounces per quart, which is 11.6, and we multiply by 8 because there's 8 quarts and 2 gallons. So that gives us 92.8 ounces, right? We're still in ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just write that next to that so I don't confuse that. Ounces. This 11.6 is ounces. This is quarts. Okay. So now we just need to take the ounces and convert it back to pounds, right?
Yes.
Because the question's asking us how many pounds we need, not how many ounces. Okay, so we're just taking 92.8 and we're going to divide by 16 because that's the number of ounces in a pound, and that gives us 5.8. So 5.8 is the number of pounds we need for a recipe that calls for 2 gallons. Everybody see how we got that?
Yes.
All right, and the last one for chapter 3. Okay. You need to serve 60 6-ounce portions of cooked dried pasta. How many pounds, how many cooked pounds is that? Okay, so again, first we want to multiply our 6-ounce portions by the number of portions. So 60 multiplied by 6,
360.
and then we just divide that number in ounces by the number of ounces in a pound.
16.
And that gives you the number of pounds cooked that you would need. So really all these are just division and multiplication. The most important thing is that you're using your chart to plug in those values and that you're converting quarts to cups so that the chart works for you accurately and that you're converting pounds to ounces and ounces to pounds, vice versa. That's really the only thing you're doing in addition to that cooked or that dry to cooked weight formula. That's really the only thing you're doing in addition is converting ounces to pounds or pounds to ounces or cups to quarts or quarts to cups. So nothing too difficult there. It's just you've got to account for these increase in volume to get the correct value, and that's what your charts are for in here.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
So in the last one, in the question number 20, we multiply the 60 served by 6 ounce and then divide that by 16?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. So let's move on. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff before I move on to chapter 4?
No. Got it.
Okay.
It's 20. Nope, that's not.
All right. If you want to go into chapter 4, you can.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I'm back up.
Boy. Excuse me.
Okay. Chapter 4 is baking items. Okay, so so in the bake shop, formulas are used instead of recipes. They are termed formulas due to the precision needed when scaling ingredients. If any of y'all have ever baked anything, you understand that everything has to be super precise. You know, if you weigh 1 ounce more of baking powder or baking soda, or you don't weigh enough, and you put your formula all together and you mix it and you bake it in the oven and your cake falls flat. So it's very important to be precise when you're using baked items or you're doing formulas in baking, which is why I can't stand baking. You can't adjust anything. If you screw it up in the beginning, it doesn't come out the correct way. Um, so most bake shops use scales to weigh items. When y'all get into principles of baking or any of your culinary classes too, we're going to use scales. So there are some exceptions to weighing items in the bake shop, and those exceptions are items that can be consistently measured by volume, such as milk, eggs, or oil. Um, when we're talking about savory items, most chefs prefer to measure ingredients by volume. This can skew the precision of measurements of weighing dry ingredients. And the main reason you don't want to weigh dry ingredients by volume is because all dried ingredients are going to have a different weight by volume, if that makes sense. So, for example, a cup of flour is going to weigh different than, say, a cup of rice. They have different weights by volume. So, it's more accurate when we're weighing dried items to do them by weight. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so note the larger the volume measuring vessel for powdery goods, such as flour or powdered sugar, the more compaction you're going to have. So, say you're using like a glass measuring pitcher to measure 2 cups of flour, you're going to have a compaction factor, meaning you can pack that down into that 2 cups or that cup that you're measuring out. So really, the more you compact it, the more you're increasing the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're doing measuring by quarts, it says multiply the weight by 4 and add 1.5% to the answer. For half gallons, multiply by 8 and add 3.5 for gallons, multiply by 16 and add 7. That's just to account for that compaction factor when you're doing dry goods by volume. Okay? So costing baking items. First necessary to determine the cost of an ounce of the food in question as it is purchased, or AP. So if the AP unit is in pounds, simply divide the cost of the bag by the number of pounds it contains. An example, if the cost of a 50-pound bag of sugar is $18.22, you divide that cost, $18.22, by the number of pounds in the bag, which is 50, and that gives you a cost of around 36 cents per pound. Then you're dividing the cost per pound by 16 to get the cost per ounce. This is essentially what we were just doing in the last chapter. Okay? There are 5 formulas for purchasing baking items.
Mhm. Oy.
Let me share
Mm-mm.
this. Okay, can y'all see my PowerPoint now? There it is.
Yeah.
So these are the 5 formulas for purchasing baking items. Number 1, the number of as served cups multiplied by the ounces per cup divided by 16 will give you the as purchased in pounds. Okay? Number 2 formula, the ounces weight per cup divided by 16 times tablespoons needed gives you the AP in ounces. And then number 3 is as served pints times pounds per pint is equal to AP in pounds. Number 4 is as served quarts multiplied by 2 multiplied by pounds per pint plus 1 point. Okay, let's put all these into action. So I'm going to go back to my whiteboard. Can y'all see my whiteboard again now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so open up your chapter 4. Okay, no, again, number 1 through 5, those are true, false. You just need to read through that beginning of the chapter to get your answers there. I want to focus more on the math and the formulas. Okay, so number 6. Hang on, I want to go back to number 3. Number 3. I want y'all to read this one. Purchasing formula number 1 says to multiply the number of cups in your recipe times the ounces per cup for that food, and then multiply that answer times 16. This will give you the number of pounds to buy. Is that true or false?
I put true.
Yeah, I would say true too, because you're trying to find the number of cups in that pound.
Okay, so
And that's what it says on page 63.
okay. It's true all except for the part that says multiply the answer times 16.
Okay.
Actually, we need to divide the answer by 16.
Divide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
We
one
don't-
is actually false. So if you look at the example, like you were saying on page 63, it said, for example, in a case of sliced almonds costs $30, and each case contains 3 bags holding 2 pounds each. the total pounds purchased is 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. Now divide the cost of the case 30 by the total pounds in the case. It gives you a cost of $5 or $5 per pound. So the cost per ounce is found by dividing the cost AP pound by 16. So we're dividing by 16 instead of multiplying. So that one is actually false. Okay, so let's go down to number 6. Number 6 says a cup of Bisquick mix weighs 4 ounces. Let's go. Okay, page 69, second item down, Bisquick mix. So a cup of biscuit mix, Bisquick mix weighs 4 ounces.
Mhm.
Okay, so what does a gallon weigh? So first of all, you need to know how many cups are in a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
4. Oh no, that's pounds.
there's 16 cups in 1 gallon. Okay, so we want to take the number of ounces, 4 ounces, and multiply that by 16. 4 times 16. That will give us
84.
34.
No, 84. 64.
64.
Yeah, so I have 64.
It's 64.
On this page.
The 64 is the number of ounces. Oh, come on.
Where are we? Oh, 60 cups.
In 1 gallon.
Yeah, 16, 64.
Okay. So
Mm.
remember, with dried items, like I just discussed a minute ago, we got to account for that compaction factor.
Mm-hmm.
So while it may seem that the answer is 64 ounces in 1 gallon, we got to account for compaction. So remember, that's that 7%.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to multiply 64 by 1.07,
Mm-hmm.
which is 7%. And that's going to give us 68.48.
Yep. Got that.
Okay. So even though there are 64 ounces is in 1 gallon all day, every day. But if this is a dried item like Bisquick mix, remember we said it's going to compact some if we're measuring it by volume, which gallons are volume. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what that 1.7 is well, that's why we multiply by that 1.07. Okay. Number 7, you just need to look at your chart on page where's Splenda in? That's going to be on page 71, sweeteners. You just need to compare the weights to get that one. Does it have Splenda on the chart?
Yes, on
Yeah,
the other.
it's on the next page. So just
Okay.
compare the weights of Splenda and sugar to get that one. Number 8. If honey costs $2 per pound, what do 3 cups cost? Okay.
honey.
Honey.
One.
So what do we do here? Anybody want to take a stab at this?
Honey costs
Well,
$2.
first we have to convert pound to cups. Right?
Well, it's
Right.
easier to convert it to ounces.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's $2 per pound, I would just convert the cups to ounces first. Or really,
Okay, 1 cup have 8 ounces.
yep. So
So 12
3
times
times 8, that gives you the total number of ounces that you need,
24.
which is 24.
All right, so we have 24 ounces. And right.
And there's 16 ounces in a pound. 16 divided by 24.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
1.5.
No, I led you in the wrong direction on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Okay.
Dollars per pound.
Okay. Okay, so you got to use your chart for this one. So
Okay, so
it says cups per pound of honey in your book is 1.33.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so just do all. Well, this one's really simple actually. So we need 3 cups. Figure out what 3 cups cost. So do 3 times cups per
1.33.
pound, 1.33,
Mhm.
which gives us
10.164.
3 times 1.33,
3.99.
3.99.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh yeah, $3.99. What was I doing?
Okay, so
Right.
3.99 is the amount of cups of honey per pound.
But it's not a answer up there. Do we have to do something else?
Mm-hmm.
If we
Do what
divide
now?
it by 3? That's not an answer choice up there, so we have to do another step.
Yes. So if 3, okay, let's see. If 3 cups is 3.99 pounds, we just multiply that by 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that's 3.99 times 2.
That's $2 per.
All right. Let me come back. Let me come back to that one, y'all.
Okay.
For now, let's keep going. I don't want to get hung up on one. I do want to come back to that though. Okay. All right. Number 9. If you know the cost of 1 cup of sugar You would divide that cost by what amount to get the cost of 1 teaspoon?
Mm.
So really, you need to know the amount of teaspoons in a cup. Does anybody know that?
Hold on, let me check.
It is. It's 48.
Yes, 48. 48 teaspoon in a cup.
Yep. So
48.
if you know the cost of 1 cup of sugar, you would divide that cost by 48
Hold on.
to get the cost of 1 teaspoon.
Okay, sugar. Sugar.
38. Oh my God. All right.
Okay. Number
Okay,
10.
what sugar do we use? Sugar demerara or? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of sugars here.
Oh, that's as far as you have to go on that one.
Okay.
If you know the cost of 1 cup, you just divide that cost by 48 because there's 48 teaspoons in 1 cup. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It does.
So number 10 says 24 ounces of sweetened gelatin produces how many gallons of finished gelatin? So let's go to our chart.
Gelatin.
Gelatin is on page 73, almost all the way to the bottom. Says gelatin flavor sweetened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 24 ounces produces how many gallons?
Hmm.
So we know there's 7.3 ounces per cup of gelatin. Right?
7.30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7.30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the number of ounces per cup. So it's asking for how many gallons 24 ounces.
Produce.
Yeah.
And then there's
So
16
what do we do
cups.
here?
Multiply 16 times 7.30.
16. But there's only 8 ounces per cup. Okay, let me go back. 24
Oh.
ounces of sweetened gelatin produces how many gallons of
Oh.
finished
Damn it. Tricky.
gelatin? Okay, so 8 ounces per cup. $16 cups in a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says cups per pound. 4 ounces. let's come back to this one too. I want to come back to that one and number 8.
Number, oh yeah, 8.
Okay. So let's go. Let's just skip over those 2 real quick. We'll come back to them. Number 11 says, how many ounces do 3 cups of sliced almonds weigh? Okay, so we need to look up almonds on our chart. That's all the way back on page 67. How many ounces do 3 cups of sliced almonds? So go to almond sliced. So for this one, we're going to do ounces per cup, 3.35, and multiply that by 3. And that gives us the number of ounces that 3 cups weighs. That one's pretty simple.
10.5.
10.05. Okay, then number 12 is pretty much the same thing. We have to do one more step. Number 12 says, how many pounds does 7 cups of sesame seeds weigh? Okay, so let's go to sesame seeds on the next page over, 68. Just use the first one, sesame seeds. It says, how many pounds does 7 cups of sesame seeds weigh? So there's 5.33 ounces. I'm going to do this one on the chart. This is for number 12. So on your chart, it says there's 7.33 ounces per cup. Sorry, 5.33. I don't know why I said 7. 5.33 ounces per cup. We're multiplying that by 7 cups. Okay, that's going to give us 37.31.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the number of ounces in 7 cups of sesame seeds. Now we just need to convert ounces to pounds. Right?
Yes.
So this is the number of ounces for 1 cup or for 7 cups. Now we just take that number in ounces, 37.31, and divide it by the number of ounces per pound. And that gives us, what'd you guys get? Should be
Divided by 133. Oh no, that can't be right.
2.33.
That's why I got 2.3318.
That's right.
I divided it by 16.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh,
So again, that 37.31, that's just the number of ounces in 7 cups. And then we're just converting ounces back to pounds, basically, by dividing the 37.31 by 16. Okay? Now the next one. Number 13. Using the Book of Yields charts, how many ounces does 1 cup of granulated sugar weigh? That should just be as simple as looking up. Sugar.
$7.10.
Are any of y'all seeing granulated sugar
I-
on any
I
of these
don't.
charts?
Page
Yes,
page 71,
It's on
Uh-huh.
71.
almost mid down.
7.10 ounce
didn't-
per cup.
Okay, I see it.
Where?
It's on the fructose powder.
Okay, yeah, there we go. That's right
Mhm.
on your chart. I was having a hard time finding it because
Me
all the
too.
other sugars are listed on
Together.
the next page over. Yeah,
Right.
that's weird that they put it by itself, but it's 7.10. Okay, number 14 says how many pounds of non-fat milk powder do 3 pints weigh?
No, but
Page 73, towards the bottom.
Yep, milk non-fat powder. Okay. So it says, if you go over to the third column, it says there's 10.9 ounces per pint. Okay?
Yes,
Times
sir.
it by 3.
So we
By
just
three.
multiply that by 3.
Okay.
Let's do this one on the board. So
32.
10.9 multiplied by 3. That gives us
32.7.
32.7. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we need to convert that back to pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So 32.7
Divided by 16. 2.04.
equal to
Right.
2.04. So that's the weight. That's the weight in
2.04.
pounds that you need. Right. Now, for that one, pints is a measure of volume. So if we're weighing,
Oh.
we might want to add that compaction factor onto that one.
Oh.
I mean, the answer it's given me is 2.04, but if we're weighing a dry powder if we're measuring it by volume, which pints is a measurement of volume, I would say we need to multiply that by the 7%. But let's just go with 2.04 on that one for now. Not to confuse you. Okay. Number 15.
Cream of tartar.
Okay. How many ounces does 1 tablespoon of cream of tartar weigh?
0.4 ounces on page 74,
Page 74.
number 5.
Yeah.
1 tablespoon cream of tartar weighs 0.4 ounces, 2.5 tablespoons per ounce.
That's right.
Ounce.
You could. That's correct. I did the math. I went through the whole chart in my notes.
Yeah.
But you can do that. You can do that. Cream of tartar. Where is it in the chart?
Yes, towards the bottom. 3/4 down the page.
What page?
73, 3/4 down the page.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
Because that's the one I was looking at.
I did the ounces per cup divided by 8.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
Yeah.
let me just show you how you would do it otherwise. Okay, so it's asking how many ounces does 1 tablespoon weigh? So on your chart, it shows you that there's 6.5 ounces in a cup.
In the total, yeah.
Okay. So if there's 6.5 ounces in 1 cup, we divide that by 8. 6.5 divided by 8 because there's 8 ounces in a cup. So
Mm-hmm.
6.5 divided by 8, that gives us 0.8125, right?
Yes.
So that's the number of ounces of cream of tartar, or sorry, yeah, 6.5 ounces. That's the number of 6.5 divided by 8. What are we at? 6.5 ounces per cup. Yep. So that gave me 0.8125, and then I just divided that by the number of teaspoons in an ounce, which is 6. There's 6 teaspoons in an ounce. So if you do 0.8125 divided by 6, it gives you this about the same thing. It actually gives you 0.135, which can be rounded to same thing,
Uh-huh.
0.14. So I didn't know that that was on page 74. 1 tablespoon weighs 0.4 ounces. But it does. Okay. All right. So let's go to number 16. Based on the answer to the previous question, how much does 1 teaspoon weigh?
16. Oh, 16. Shoot. Okay. So.
Ah,
So
I
should
see
we,
where I.
should we
Hold up, hold up. You see on the blackboard where I messed up. Sorry, that could have really just confused some people. Okay, so for number 15, we were doing tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I should have taken that 0.8125, which was 6.5 divided by 8 ounces in a cup. That's how I got that. On the last one, I should have done 0.8125 divided by 2, because there's 2 tablespoons in an ounce. That would have given me
The 4.
0.4. Okay? So
Yep, there you go. Okay.
all we're doing differently for number 16 is we're taking that 0.8125,
Mm-hmm.
0.8125, and we're dividing it by 6 because there's 6 teaspoons in an ounce. Okay? So that gives us 0.14.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the cost for cream of tartar. 0.4 is the cost for
Tables.
a tablespoon. This is the cost for a teaspoon. Okay? All right, so I want to go back because we got hung
Mm-hmm.
up. We got hung up on 9 and
Eight,
11,
eight
right?
and 10.
8 and 10.
Yeah,
8 and
8
10.
10. 8 and 10. That's right. Okay.
Number 8. Okay.
Okay, so $2 per pound. So let's do this. We know a pound is 16 ounces, right?
Yes.
So
Oh,
if it's $2 per pound, it's $2 per 16 ounces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or $1 for every 8 ounces. So 16 ounces is equal to $2, right? So 8
Yes.
ounces would be
$1.
equal to $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how many ounces in a cup?
8.
8 ounces in a cup.
That's right. So, but we have to know, we have to use our chart for honey.
Mm-hmm. So it's
So let's go.
1.3. Oh, it's just
Why,
the
why
cup.
would we use the chart if it's giving us the cost per pound?
Because
132.
Putting the cups
because of the
down.
weight of honey. Let's see.
Yeah, because it's 12 ounces of honey in 1 cup.
Yeah.
So that's 12, 24, 36 ounces
So there's 36 ounces.
for those 3 cups.
Yeah. 36 ounces for 3 cups.
24. 24.
Yeah, 'cause it's
8
8
times
ounces per
3
cup.
is 24.
But no, if we go through the chart, it's the 12 ounces per cup.
Yeah. There's 12 ounces of honey per cup.
Okay.
So it'd be
Okay.
36.
So 12 times 3
36.
is equal to 36 ounces of honey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much honey is in 3 cups. So
Mm-hmm.
if we know the cost of 8 ounces is $1, we need to divide
36.
8 by 36, right?
Ooh.
Oh, this one confusing.
It is
450.
confusing.
450.
Yep, that's right. It's 450.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this 12 times 3. Let's just clarify this. This 12 times 3 is 12 is the number of ounces of honey in 1 cup. The 3 is what we're determining what we're trying to determine how much it costs. So we have a total of 36 ounces of honey. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
then we're just taking the cost per 8 ounces, or you could do even 16. And you're doing 36 divided by 8. Let's just do 36 divided by 8, because that's $1. And if you do that, it should give you 4.5. 36 divided by 8. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's 4.5. So the cost of 3 cups or 36 ounces of honey is $4.50 if it's $2 a pound. That one is confusing, can tie you up.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, if we did 36 divided by 16, it gives us 2.25, but we would have to multiply that by 2 because it's $2 for 16 ounces.
Ah,
you
and
could-
then it's your 450 anyway.
So you have to multiply. If you divide by 16, which you very well can do it that way too. You just have to multiply by 2 because it's $2
Got it.
for every pound.
So let's do that.
That's where the confusion I think was coming in. It's easier to determine the cost of 1 cup because it's asking for the cost in cups than it is to determine the cost of 1 pound.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But we got that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the other one was number 10.
Yes.
Okay, let's clarify that one.
10.
Page 73.
Ooh, that's good. Mm.
Okay, number 10 says, well, first let's find sweetened gelatin. There it is. Number 10 says 24 ounces of sweetened gelatin produces how many gallons of finished gelatin? Okay.
Okay. Gelatin. So we
Okay,
need
so
ounces.
ounces per cup. It says there's 7.3 ounces per cup
Mm-hmm.
of sweetened gelatin. Let's write that down. 7.3 ounces per cup. Okay. We know that there's 8 ounces in a cup, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So 24 ounces. First, we need to. How many ounces are in 1 gallon? 128, I believe. 128
Yes.
ounces in 1 gallon. Okay. So if there's 128 ounces in 1 gallon, 24 ounces. This one's confusing too. We got to do something with that 7.30.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back and see what the formula is for this. Let me do something real quick. $24. I don't know why this one is just. Okay.
If I multiply the 7.30 by 24 ounces equal 175.2 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to divide that by the 128 ounces to get how many gallons? But if I do that, I just got 1.36.
Okay, wait, hold on. 7.30 times 24.
It says the
About
answer says 1 gallon, but
barely.
I'm trying to figure out how they got 1 gallon.
Hmm. 24.
24 hours.
It's not right either. Either way it goes, something wrong.
Ounces per pint.
7.30 divided by 16. Nope, that's times 4. That's not right either.
Something is not right with this. 24 ounces.
Ounce weight per cup. 7.3.
I'm sorry, but I can't help with that yet.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
That's okay.
She's talking back to me all the time.
I tell y'all what.
7.30 divided by 16.
This one's not adding up correctly to the answer it gives. I mean, because gelatin is one of those things that increases in volume. Y'all hold tight 1 second, okay?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
3.
Boy.
$24.
Okay. No se ve, pero como estamos en el test. Si lo doy aquí, ahí se ve. Okay.
Okay. Sorry to blow your minds with this number 10, but if you flip to page 74 and go down to number 3 where it says sweetened gelatin,
Uh-huh.
Right there it says 24 ounces of sweetened gelatin yields 1 gallon. And then and then it proceeds to tell you how they got to that. So there you go.
1 gallon, all this.
Yeah, it was right there.
We got how many more weeks? 5 weeks of this.
We're gonna make it.
I'm gonna be bald head when we finish.
Okay, so 74.
Throughout the rest of the culinary curriculum, will this ever come up again after we finish?
Do what now? What was that question?
Will we see this again after we do this class for the remainder of the culinary curriculum?
Not necessarily in the costing format.
Okay.
You're definitely gonna be when you get into baking. You're gonna be doing some what's called the bread baker's formula, but
Mhm.
that's really just conversions between grams and ounces and gallons and quarts and things of that nature. You're not gonna be. It won't be a whole lot of costing with it.
Okay.
So once you get through your costing, you really don't have to do much of this anymore throughout the remainder of your classes. So
Okay.
depending on who your instructor is. So I know some of y'all are Augusta Tech.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all's patience.
And we appreciate you because we.
I know, right?
Like I know this class is difficult, especially this second portion of it is difficult when you're trying to do the math and there's nobody there to explain it.
Right. In the
Um,
formulas.
a large majority of this though is using those tables, and
Mhm.
then you're really just doing multiplication, division, and rounding. So I mean the hard stuff is primarily out of the way. It's just repeating these formulas over and over and over again. So I mean it's very similar when we get into um, the next chapter, which is liquids. Sorry, did we cover? No, actually, yeah, fats, oils, and condiments, and then liquids. So those are very similar to what we've been doing. Um, so, anyways,
So for this one,
y'all,
it's gonna for chapter 5 and 6 is gonna be next Wednesday at 9.
yes, we're gonna do the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay.
But before you leave, I wanted to mention you'll see. I don't know. You probably can't see it yet. Let's look. No, it's not visible right now. There is a book of yields exam for chapters 1 through 4.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave chapter 1 through 4 assignments open until Monday
Mm-hmm.
for y'all to complete because we're a little behind on
Yes, we
our
are.
course schedule. Let's see.
By like a week.
Course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a week.
Okay.
Yeah, because we should be starting 5 and 6 this week. Or I've already
Mhm.
started.
Yeah.
Because that would have been
Book
due this weekend coming.
Yeah.
So you're about a week behind.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll get caught up.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time to catch up. So what I'm gonna do, it still says for your Unit 1 exam for the Book of Yields is due 11/14. Okay, so I'm going to open up that test on Monday and give you to the 14th to get it turned in. In the
Excellent.
meantime, we're going to continue on doing what we're doing. So next week, we're going to cover 5 and 6. Let's try to do this next week so we can get caught up.
Yeah.
Are you
Let's do 5.
basically
Okay. Let's do.
are you free Wednesday and Thursdays?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We could do 2 chapters next Wednesday, and then 2 chapters again next Thursday.
Okay,
That'll get us caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And that
definitely will.
would get us caught up.
Right.
That would get us
Okay.
to chapter. If we did 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8 and 9 on Thursday, that would get us caught up.
Okay, that's
Excellent.
fine.
So that's what we'll do. We'll just plan on doing 4 chapters next week, 2 on Wednesday, and then we'll do 3 on Friday, I guess.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect.
But in the
Okay,
meantime, y'all do. I'm gonna just remove the due dates of 1 through 4 assignments. Get those completed, and then the Unit 1 exam chapters 1 through 4 will be due on the 14th of November.
Okay.
So that'll give you a little over a week to get that one done.
Okay, good.
And then we'll resume with our virtual room sessions next Wednesday, same time, 9 o'clock.
okay.
Excellent.
Okay? In the meantime, if y'all have any questions, feel free to call me, email me, whatever you need to do. I promise we'll get through this. We've only got about 6,
4 weeks.
7 weeks of it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We'll get it done. And hopefully everybody's turned in their filing cabinet project.
Yes.
If not, you're way behind. Okay,
Already
so
Boy.
if there's no more questions, I'll see y'all next week, Wednesday at
Thank you.
9,
Have a
and
good
I'll post
weekend.
an announcement for that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All
Have
right,
a
y'all
nice
have a good day.
Bye.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Creo que hoy fue la de teatro. Esa la soldada.
Y la otra.